absolute worst crick in my neck. I swear it's this night shift, like when you finally fall asleep, it's like you're gone, like bye. And I'm really worried about tomorrow because I have to get up. My body's still getting used to this night shift shit. And yay! Congratulations, Jada! Yeah! Good. I'm so glad. Hopefully that'll be a good thing. Anyways, my body is still getting used to this fucking night shift, you guys. I cannot get into it. I can't. I'm trying. I can't get up. Like, I need to get up and film, and my body is just like, no. So I talked to a lady that I work with, and she was like, yeah, it took my body like 2.5 months to get used to night shift, to where I could actually like get up and, you know, at a decent hour, to where I could actually like get shit done. So tomorrow's going to be a test, because I have got to get up and go get my tags renewed. I have to. And Tennessee decided to do this stupid shit where they wanted to come out with new tags this year. So it's just like a whole thing. Like, this crick in my neck, you guys, is killing. It's like going all the shooting of pain all the way down my back. Oh my God, that's fucking crazy. It seems just like, guys, this is going to be slanted. I'm sorry, this stupid, you all know my stupid tripod. It seems just like yesterday he was born. That's so crazy. He's already standing on his own. I just feel like I'm so out of the loop with everything since I started this job, because I take my shower and then I eat and wait until Chris gets up for work. He usually goes to work about 4:30, and then I finally go to sleep. Typically by 5:30 I'm asleep. There has been days where my body just would not go to sleep until like 7 in the morning. So if I go to sleep by 5, 8 hours is like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. 8 hours of sleep. However, where my body is just not used to this shit, you guys, I'm sleeping till like 3 o'clock. That's crazy. And like, when I wake up, I'm like so tired. I'm like, wow, I'm really up right. Mount is a literal piece of shit. I'm trying not to make you all dizzy, and yet I'm probably making you guys even more dizzy by moving it around. But anyways, I was so sick. I got it before work because, when else was I supposed to get it? And like I said, it's a requirement. So the day that you're supposed to get it, like, I had to go get it. I could not put it off, or else I couldn't come to work. So I go down there, I get it, and you know, they make you wait like 10 minutes after you get it to make sure that you're okay, right? Right. So I sit and I wait the amount of time, and everything's fine. I get out to my car, and all of a sudden it just overwhelms me. Like, I'm so dizzy, and this overwhelming sense of cold chills come all over my fucking body, you guys. It was crazy. And for context, I got the Pfizer. So, that happens. And I sat in my car for a minute. I call Chris on FaceTime. And I'm like, hey, can you talk to me? And I was like, I'm going to go into work. I was like, can you talk to me on my way to work? Because I'm dizzy. And for a second, I thought about going live, and I'm really glad that I didn't, because this guy ended up ramming into me. So I pull out of the parking spot, on the phone with Chris, and I'm pulling out of the CVS, and there is this, in front of me, there's this huge Suburban, the new Suburbans. They're literally the size of a bus in front of me, and they're blocking the exit of CVS. So I'm sitting there, and I see this like 1993 Honda Accord pulling up behind me. And I'm like, oh, well, there's about to be like a line of traffic here because this Suburban is literally blocking all of traffic because they were in line to go to the pharmacy. And instead of being on one side of the road, they were in the middle, so you couldn't exit the parking lot. Anyways, so I nudge up just a little bit because that Suburban nudges up, and this guy fucking stomps on his gas. I think he got confused. He was like an old man. And so I nudge up just a little bit, and this man stomps on his gas, rams into me. I put my car in park. Like I said, I'm on FaceTime with Chris, just like you guys see right now. And I'm like, he was like, what was that? And I said, this dude just rammed into me. He was like, oh my God. So I put the car in park to get out. I'm getting like my information. This motherfucker, you guys, listen to this shit, runs up. There's like an embankment with grass and like, what do you call it? Like side, drives off in his little bitty shitty Honda Accord. I'm like, oh my God. Of course, Chris sees the whole thing, and he was like, I screen recorded every bit of it. So then you have to sit and you have to wait on the police to get there, file a report. Meanwhile, I have got cold chills all over my body. I'm sweating. I'm dizzy as hell. It was absolutely horrifying. Not to mention, it was the hottest day so far we've had this year in Tennessee. It was 101 degrees outside. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And you guys know how I am. I live life on the edge, baby. And don't do this. Don't do this. Okay? But I needed gas, which was going to be my next stop after CVS. So my gas light's on. It's hotter than hell. I'm waiting on the police. So I finally just cut my car off. I'm like, well, I guess I'm just going to have to sit out here in the heat, which made me even more dizzy. Guys, I cannot make this shit up. It was fucking, hey, Brianna, it was fucking insane. So the police officer finally gets there. Chris sent me like the screen recording he had, and like you could see, like you all can see in my back window, you could see the guy pull up, and you could see him like driving up that embankment. Fucking crazy old man. So I filed the report or whatever and call my insurance, do all the things. Well, they ended up, because I could see through his window, he was wearing a Tyndall's work shirt, which, hold on, you guys, let me fucking move this because this is driving me absolutely nuts. You guys may not like that. Which just so happens, Tyndall's is a lumber yard. It just so happens to be like maybe a mile and a half from house. And I was like, he was wearing a Tyndall's work shirt. I know that. He was in a gray, like 90s model Honda Accord, and his car was fucked. Let me just say that. Like, I'll show you guys when I get to work here in a minute. I'll show you guys what the back of my car looks like. It's got like a couple little scratches. This man's front of his car was fucked. And when I tell you that he like rammed up into me, I am not being dramatic in the slightest. Like Chris said, it sounded like a bomb went off, and my whole body like went forward. That's how, I don't know how fast he was like ramming up into me, but it was fast. I'll just say that. They ended up finding the guy, and he admitted to the officer that he didn't have insurance. So the officer said that more than likely he was going to lose his license because of it, which makes me feel bad. But the officer was like, both of his headlights were busted. The front of his car looked like a fucking accordion where it rammed up. Oh my God, this thing is pissing me off. Hold on, you guys. We're going to fix this really quick because this just cannot be. Let's see if that's better. Because I cannot stand you all tilting around and then YouTube pops up a thing like, rotate your phone. Anyway, so that fucking happened, you guys. Oh my God, my life is insane. Then this fucking story time. I've had this story time filmed for 3 months now. Let's see, February. March, April, May. No, 5 months. I've had this video filmed a long time. And I didn't upload it when I originally filmed it because I've told you guys this. I felt like I said something, maybe I said something I would regret, or I filmed it like in the moment, like as it was happening, as everything was going down. And I was like, I just don't want, I should maybe wait. Well, I go to upload it this past weekend. It's processing, it's doing all the things. And I end up getting a call from this person's family member and having a talk with them. And they were like, we would really appreciate it if you didn't. I guess one of them seen my live where I mentioned I was going to make a story time. And they were like asking me not to make a story time because embarrassing for them. And I was like, have you even watched my story times? I would never say her name in a million years, even though I should, because what she did was grimy as hell and fraud at that. I was like, I would never mention her name. That's not my vibe. I don't do that shit. Even if I have permission to use people's name on my channel, I typically change it always, unless I'm like in a super close relationship, like my best friend Ashley. Unless you're like someone that's like, I know is never leaving my life, I'm going to use your name. But like, aside from that, I typically always change names. I was like, but no, I'm sharing this fucking story. And so I upload it, and I think only 1 or 2 of you were able to see it before it got a copyright claim. But I got an email from YouTube today, and of course it's going to be able to go back up on my channel. So I'll have that up for you guys this weekend, and I'm sorry that was taken down. But they can't file the claim because I did not use real names. I changed time frames. Like, I protect myself. I know how to tell a story time. That's why you guys enjoy them so much. So I'm sorry for the person who was in the middle of watching it. I ended up getting an email at my questions for Shay, and they were like, what the fuck? I was right in the middle of it. I was like, I'm so sorry. They fucking filed a claim. I'm sorry. It'll be back up. But it took like a fucking week too. I was like, damn, y'all are really going in to make sure I didn't say this bitch's name. But apparently, I talked to a YouTuber I know, and when there's a copyright claim like that, apparently, like, they have to send in like proof that that's their actual name. Yeah, I use some crazy, like, off the wall name, so you all know the names that I use. Like fucking Waldo, Susie. Or sometimes I'll use like subscribers' names. Like I've used Brianna in a story time before, I think. I know I've used Claire's name in a video before. But yeah. Anyway, sorry to the person who was watching that video, and sorry to everybody else who didn't even get to see the fucking thing yet. I know it's been ages since you all have had a story time. And for those of you guys who missed the live that I did this past weekend, talking to you guys about what's been going on, and my struggle with ADHD and all of this shit, I just want to say, like, I appreciate all of you guys for like hanging in there and like putting up with this time. Like, literally since October, I've been in this horrible depression. Because, like I said, if you missed that live, like, going through recovery, like, you just want to protect yourself at all costs. So, I was prescribed Adderall when I was a kid, as a young adult, and then I went through my addiction and all of that, and I always used to like trade mine, even when I started using in the beginning. Adderall's never done me the way that it does other people. I guess that's because I actually need it. But I was scared to get on it, and it ended up taking a whole toll on me. I just couldn't concentrate on anything, and it put me in this depression of just, well, if I can't concentrate on nothing, then I'm just just not going to do anything at all, and it got really bad there for a minute. So, but I would say I'm like 75% there, like back to where I was when I started YouTube. And I've heard about, you know, people getting burnt out on YouTube. I'm not burnt out. Like, I know what I want to film, and I have all of these ideas, and I love my YouTube channel. Like, it's the most important thing to me. I like to film just to, like, it makes me happy. And I was just so confused as to what was wrong with me, and come to find out it's my ADHD. So anyways, I like to get to work super early, because I like to, I'm one of those people that needs to like sit in my car and like meditate a minute. Like, you know, I'm about to go inside and really do this shit. I don't think you all will be able to see where I work, but some of you already found out, which is crazy because I've never like driven in here with you guys, but whatever, it's fine. There's like a bazillion different departments here anyways, so, which I don't know, I have pretty cool subscribers. I've had like 2 people like act out of pocket, but one of them was literally a child, and the other one was my stalker's fucking girlfriend, so that makes perfect sense. So none of you guys have ever acted crazy. I think I'm gonna park down here today. Is David here yet? See David yet. The only thing about parking down here is there's no shade, which is a really big fucking bummer, because I love having shade. No, I don't see David here yet. He should be here soon. Oh, is there some shade over here? Hell yes. These parking spots are always taken. Yeah, I'm literally like 30 minutes early, but to be fair, where I have to walk to clock in is literally like a country mile. It's unreal. Let's see if I'm missing any comments. I see Miss Brianna with her little emoji next to her name. By the way, guys, a lot of you all have been asking how you can join my membership. I think you have to do it on a laptop or a computer. I'm pretty sure. Also, I got approved for thanks on my videos. So below my videos, you can even go to past videos. There will be a little like thing that says thanks, and you can send thanks for the video. I got approved for those. Just keep in mind that those are a lot like super chats and stickers, super stickers or whatever. It's the same ideal. YouTube does take a big portion of that, so just keep that in mind when you do it that way. But I did want to let you guys know that I was approved for it. I'm gonna finish this and then I'll show you guys the back of my fucking car. I have to take it to my mechanic and get an estimate of what it's going to cost to fix. Really what he hit was, you can kind of see the top of that. I have a RAV4. That right there is a tire cover. If you've ever seen a RAV4, I have a 2015. 2015 or 2016. It doesn't matter. It's one of the two. So I have the fully loaded one. So it has the little tire cover. He banged the bottom of that. And now my backup camera is like going in and out. So like sometimes it'll pop up and sometimes it won't. And then below that, you know, like the lip, I don't know how else to describe it. It's like the little lip that's on like the back of an SUV. There's like a little dent there, or scratch. But I'm like, is it even worth getting fixed? Do I really even care that much? And then Chris was like, well, you know, when you want to trade it in, which it's not going to be anytime soon, but He was like, if you ever do want to trade it in, he was like, if it's fixed, you'll be able to get, you know, more of what it's worth. The only thing about this car, like, it is a great fucking car. I mean, we got a fucking deal on it. We traded in, for those of you guys who remember back at the beginning of my channel, I used to drive a 2009 Toyota Camry. We traded it in. They gave me $2,000 for that car because it had like almost 500,000 miles on it. It was still a really good car, but anyways, traded it in on this. So I really only financed like $7,000 on this car. And when I say it's like fully loaded for the year that it is, I think it's a 2015. Or maybe a 2014. I don't know. It's somewhere along those lines. It's got like push to start, it's got Bluetooth, it's got the backup camera, it's got the sunroof, all leather, like it's got the sport package in the back, like all the things. So we were looking on Kelley Blue Book, and without those scratches there, I could get a whole lot more out of this car than with those scratches there. So I think we're going to get them fixed because it's a big difference with those there. Like, it's more than I would think. So plus I have full coverage insurance, and that's what I pay for it for. I don't know, I've been having a lot of like feelings about the little old man. Like, I just feel bad because, and like I told the officer, I'm not going to cry over it. I've been really emotional because I'm about to start my period. But like, he just looked like he was going through it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he ended up telling the officer, like, you know, I only paid $400 for this car. Like, I don't know. I just feel really bad for him. So, I don't know. But like my mom said, it's not my fault that he rammed into me and drove off. It could have been handled a different way. And like, I don't know though, because if he would have told me all that, if he would have stayed and not drove off and he would have told me that, like, I would have been like, okay, it's fine. Like, I know me. Like, old people are my weakness. They are my weakness. Elderly people and children are my weakness. My nanny and pappy, like, raised me most of my life, and just little old people just have a spot in my heart. It will never, ever, ever go away. And I just don't want to fuck his life up over, like, if he loses his license, he's not going to be able to drive to work. And he lives in Halls. There are no buses in the county. Like, he's not going to be able to take a bus to Tyndall's. I mean, I guess he could Uber, but he was like an older man. I don't even think he would know how to get an Uber. I don't know, guys. This is literally what's been going on in my head since it happened. It's like overtaken me. And then I had a dream today that the wreck happened again, but he stayed. And I woke up with this fucking crick in my neck that's shooting all the way down my back. I don't know. Do you ever feel like the universe is trying to tell you something, and then you overanalyze that thought for days, sometimes weeks? Because me fucking too. That's where I'm at right now. I'm just like overanalyzing the house. Okay, let me show you guys what happened. Guys, I've really got to get up tomorrow because I've got to get my tags renewed. They're fucking expired, bitch. And I can't, like, I've not been able to get my body awake. I've got to get up tomorrow. No shit. No word of a lie. I've got to get up. Okay, let me show you guys. Can I turn this around? Okay, so it's like way down here. But there's scuffs there, scuffs there. You can see, like, but like, that's it. That's the only thing that happened to it. So it's not even, let me tell you guys what happened last night. So For those of you guys who haven't found out where I work at a hospital. I'm not going to say which one, obviously, but I work at a hospital and I work night shift. And basically what I do is I sanitize operating rooms. So last night I was here. I come out in my car on break. It was probably around 1 o'clock in the morning, maybe a little before 1 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And I was walking down the hallway to come to where I park. Now listen, this part of the hospital that I sanitize, everybody leaves at like 6 p.m. So by the time that like I get clocked in and I get back down here, because where I have to clock in is like on the other side of the hospital. By the time I get back down here, you guys, it takes forever. So by the time I get back down here, everybody's gone. This whole side of the building is completely gone and empty, which can be really fucking sketch, okay? But you have to have like card access to get in places. Like where I physically like work all night, you would have to have this card access to get into. Does that make sense? However, there's one part of where I work that's like a waiting room. And so anybody can get in there if I don't lock the door. So yesterday I get clocked in, whatever. I get down here, I get started working. And I remember, I'm like, oh shit, I didn't lock the door. No. I'm lying to you. I came out on a break, which would have been around 8 p.m. And I was like, shit, I didn't lock the door. By that time, the sun has went down. It's dark outside, okay? So I run inside, I go in, and I'll just peek inside just to make sure nobody's in there. And there's this guy sitting there. So I tell blah, blah, blah. And he obviously does not work here, like, at all. And also, when you walk inside the hospital, you have to have your temperature taken. And you also have to answer these set of questions. And it prints out a sticker that you have to wear on you if you are a visitor here. He didn't have one of those. So that tells me that he entered this part of the hospital, which is like an employee entrance, okay? You don't have to scan your badge, because if you had like a surgery or something done in this part of the hospital, they can bring you out right here. If like the person picking you up's car's here, or if your car's here, they can bring you out right here. So that tells me that he had to come in right here, because this is the only entrance that I know of that you can get in without having to have your temperature taken and all that shit. And that's because the only way that you would be able to get like know of this place is if you like know this hospital, if that makes sense. So automatically in my mind, I'm like taking a mental picture of what this man looks like, what he's wearing. Always do that. If you ever feel like you're in a comfortable situation or possibly a dangerous one, always take a mental photo of that person from head to toe. So that's what I'm doing, taking like a mental note. He comes out, I lock the door, and I scan my badge and go into the actual operating room section. I come out for lunch a couple hours later, and he's sitting on a bench that is in front of the elevators that is by the department that I work in. Just sitting there, and I make sure he sees me look at him. I look at him, and I go to lunch. Come back from lunch, he is no longer there. So I go in the department, whatever. You guys, holy shit. My last break of the night, like I said, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. Went over to another part of the hospital to help some people. And I'm walking back down, and I start to hear somebody behind me. And I turn around to look, and it's that guy. At this point, like I said, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, a little after 1 o'clock, something like that. So I don't panic. I just continue to walk, come out this door, and then I see him start to come out this door. And so I start to kind of like speed walk to my car. And I have a parking buddy. His name's David. But this parking lot right here is closer to the department that I work in. So I started parking here last night, and he didn't know that. So David parked in another parking lot, the one that's across the way. So I get in my car, I lock the doors. This man comes outside and sits right here where I'm parked. He's sitting like right here last night, just staring at me the whole time. And so David texted me and he's like, hey, I'm coming down to work with you for a little bit. I was like, sweet. There's this guy that's like creeping me out. And the thing about working in hospitals, or even if you visited a hospital, you know that service is terrible. So my text never got to David. So I see him start to walk down the hallway, and I start blowing my horn at this man, full on like, bah, bah. And he looks and comes outside, and that man runs as soon as he hears me honk my horn. So I don't know what he was up to last night, but I have a feeling that it was no good. Anyways, you guys, I've got just a couple of minutes before I have to start my trek into the clock-in room. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I love you guys, and maybe we'll do a live on my way home. It'll be like 3 in the morning, but if anybody's up and wants to hang out, maybe we'll go live and just see who's up at that time.